watching Well-Traveled Life with Jonathan and Jennifer. Thanks for joining us in Gibraltar, on the Peninsula of Spain and just across the Strait from Africa, but still part of the UK.
Gibraltar is that famous chunk of land right at the tip of the continent. Even though it looks like it's part of Spain, Gibraltar is a British Commonwealth territory, so things are different there. They speak English. They use the British pound, and as Brexit has occurred, going back and forth between borders is a little bit more difficult than it used to be. I think there's still some things that the country will be working out with the EU and with Spain in particular to see how locals will be able to cross the border for work. But as of now, as a tourist, you don't need to go through any special customs or immigration just because it's British. Once you get into port, you can walk to the main part of town. It's about a 15 to 20 minute walk. There are shuttles available. They cost £6. Remember, pounds, not euros. They use minibuses as opposed to big buses because it's a small territory. The streets are narrow and relatively windy because you've got the rock. That's the main part of the land. And so they will use small minivans or minibuses instead of the big buses. If you're walking, once you get out of the port, you want to turn right and you want to walk towards the rock. That's obviously the thing that you see. It's the thing to keep in your sights, and that will get you out to the town. Interestingly, much of the flat land that you see at the bottom of the rock as you get off of the boat and in the port is land that has been reclaimed from the sea. They started that in 1990. You'll see a large wall on your left as you are coming out of the port, and that's like the old seawall. Any land to the right of that, between that seawall and the ocean, is reclaimed land. Those seawalls were built by convicts who were later sent to Australia. Gibraltar is home to about 33,000 people. It is only 4 miles by 8 miles in area. There are 14 to 15,000 people from Spain that actually work in Gibraltar. And there's 3 major economic drivers. They have maritime operations, which is more than just being a harbor. They actually provide food, fuel, bunkering, dry docks for ships. So you will see tons and tons of ships with sort of baby ships harbored next to them. They're supplying those ships. The border between Gibraltar and Spain was actually closed between 1969 and 1974. There was quite a bit of consternation between Spain and Gibraltar. When the border closed, Gibraltar allowed Moors to replace the workforce. While Spain thought they could shut out the Gibraltar economy, Gibraltar pivoted, brought in the Moors from Morocco, which is just 17 miles away, and you now have a much more diverse population in the area. There are 34 miles of roads and tunnels inside the rock. The highest point of the rock is 1,800 feet. There are 8 guns or cannons atop the rock that were used to protect the area during World War II. There is a cable car. It tends to be crowded on cruise days, but a tour would allow you to access without the queues. The tunnels in the rock were built at different times. You have one set of tunnels that was built during the Great Siege of 1782. Those tunnels were built to move cannons, and they actually took gunpowder and blasted out areas and then followed by hammers and crowbars to create these tunnels that would then allow them to roll the cannons up so they could get the cannons to the top where they had better sight lines. There was a Colonel Shrapnel who invented the exploding cannon, and you can see a display of that if you go through the siege tunnels. There are also the World War II tunnel. The siege tunnels connect to the World War II tunnels You can see that the siege tunnels were built for loading cannons and getting cannon fire up to the lookout points. And the World War II tunnels were built afterwards in conjunction with the siege tunnels and were never needed. Gibraltar was not invaded by the Germans, but those tunnels continued to exist. Another one of the economic drivers is finance, particularly in the area of online gaming. Because of the tax laws, it is a hub for online gambling. And finally, tourism is a large driver for their economy. There are over 200 cruise ships a year and 5 to 8 flights a day land in Gibraltar. A funicular goes from the ground up to the top of the rock. It's about a 25-minute walk to get to the funicular from your cruise port, but you can also take the shuttle bus and that will get you there. Once there, you will see not so much at the bottom, but more there's a midpoint, as well as at the very top, you will see plenty of the macaque monkeys, or the apes. Gibraltar is known for the monkeys. You will see them predominantly during the cooler times of the day, but even during the heat, you'll see them. Really watch your bags, watch what you're carrying. They are very, very familiar with tourists. They have no fear of people and are known for grabbing things out of bags or grabbing bags and emptying them to get what they want. Highly recommended that you not bring food into this port at all, but certainly don't bring food onto the cable car. If you're carrying a backpack, that's a preferred bag for the monkeys. It's easy for them to jump and latch onto them. And these are jumping monkeys. They jump and climb and crawl with agility and ease. So you want to make sure that one of them is not jumping on your back to get your backpack. Best if you're carrying a backpack to turn it to the front so that you can keep your arms around it, and that's less attractive to them. Don't worry about getting a picture of a monkey. You will have plenty of opportunities. If you are anywhere around the cable car that goes up to the top of the mountain, you will see monkeys without fail. The other spot is the Planet of the Apes area, which is halfway up the funicular. You will see monkeys there as well. No chance that you won't see a monkey. Probably the thing to be more careful of is that you don't see a monkey on you. You don't want to get too close to them. They will get close to you, especially if you have anything that they think they might want. If you've got young children or if you have mobility issues, you just want to make sure you're not carrying any food with you.
On the far end of the island lies Europa Point. You'll find the lighthouse there that guides ships in, as well as a mosque indicating the diversity and acceptance of the Moorish population on Gibraltar. Thanks for joining our video. We hope we'll see you for some of our other cities in the UK.